here with Ben Patrick from Hollywood, from California, from somewhere over there in Los Angeles. Looks like you're in a fantastic place. Want to go through that today with you, chatting around what it takes to be successful online and the contrast between online success and actually, being a good coach, and kind of looking at it from both angles of people who have a following but don't really feel like they have the tools to have the impact they want. And then the other perspective of people who've been, doing all the work, all the study, they got their PhD, they got all the qualifications, they've been training hard, and they've got 150 followers and no online business. So we want to talk to both of those scenarios today.
Yeah. So this is something that I came from myself. I was the guy who I strictly believed that marketing didn't matter. I only believed that my competency mattered. That's all I thought mattered until I realized I wasn't getting very far. So as you know, I started Instagram a couple of years ago and just today hit 100,000 followers. So it's good timing to do this. So I'm the same guy that I was when I didn't even have an Instagram. You see what I mean? But no one gave a shit. And I just didn't recognize the value of the marketing side of it. And so up to now, having 100,000 followers, I'm looking back, I'm seeing other coaches, and I'm seeing that there's an inverse ratio between how good you are as a coach and how many followers you have. Because where are you putting your time? So if you're putting all your time into marketing, you're probably that person who's not putting enough time into just being the best you can absolutely be for the clients that you do have. But then if you're that guy, then you're probably not putting enough time into marketing. So it's time that we recognize, in a good way, there's more opportunity, right? So I have more clients now than I ever dreamed I could have. I make more money now than I ever even had a goal for myself to make. So there's more potential, but you have twice the responsibility that you had 20 years ago as a coach. You now have twice the responsibility, but 10x more that you could potentially gain. So that's where I want to kind of dive in for you. In your case, you're like me, right? What was your journey? I mean, we were hungry to be the best we could possibly be. When did you start thinking about marketing? And tell me about your journey. Mine was pretty strict of, I want to be the best coach I can be, then realizing, oh shit, I have no following, and now trying to become a master of marketing. What about you?
I think it was a little bit different for me, Ben. I think I always really enjoyed coaching. And then even when I started to travel and started to just ask questions about the world, I started blogging straight away. So I guess I kind of wanted to put something out there. Now, blogging isn't the same as an online business, but I did sort of have little goes of online businesses back in, 2010. And, the YouTube videos that you saw of me, deep squatting on the back of the Poliquin stuff, that was
you're the first guy I saw doing knees over toes. So clearly at that time you were already putting stuff out there, but that just shows the value of that. There may not have been a knees over toes guy if you and Charles hadn't been putting data out,
Yeah, but I wasn't doing it smart. I wasn't business minded, but I did kind of want to serve, and I always kind of had it in my mind that I wanted to have an impact, whether it was with encouraging people to travel and just look outside the box in life, or with training. They've kind of always been my two things, live how you want to live and have a great body, be in a healthy physical state. That kind of be my two missions. And I guess I have always kind of wanted to broadcast that in a way. And then I've been pretty fanatical about learning about how those things work, whether it's, with nutrition or that, or even the financial system and politics and stuff like that. I've gone deep into that, and then other times gone deeper into the other. And I've pretty much always enjoyed, trying to share as I went. So I think a little bit different, to yourself, where you were this amazing coach in the back corners of Florida that no one had ever, no one had heard about. And you've haven't really changed that much inside of your training system. And now you've helped more people with knees than ever. So the gap really was, getting the message out for you.
Yeah. And I think every coach has to honestly assess where they are in that, and some are going to be nice and balanced, right? And that's good. If you're nice and balanced, keep sharpening both skills, right? So I just think things are going to work in that balance. Even if you're a good coach now and then you become really good at marketing, it doesn't mean you should stop becoming an even better coach, But I just think you have to be, if you look at your daily schedule, at your weekly schedule, are you becoming a better coach and a better businessman, both at the same, you know what I mean? You got to be becoming better at both. Me and you talk about this all the time, even from an organization standpoint, right? We're always trying to get more organized because we know that more organizations will be better for our business. So marketing is one side of that business. And it's really, that's the thing. There's our competency as coaches and our competency in business itself. So I think, make sure you're getting both of those, getting better at both of them actively every week. And I don't think you'll hit any ruts. But I think the rut is waiting when you stop getting better at either one of those skills.
Yeah. And I had a question from a couple of guys. I'm sure you get this all the time, right? Like I was talking to a guy yesterday on Instagram in the evening after training, and he's saying, "Look, I'm 19. I'm ripping into my training. I'm at university." And I said, like, "Why don't you start?" And he's like, "Well, I'm working at a bar and I just want to focus on my studies at the moment." And he's doing 20 to 40 hours in a bar and a restaurant. And, my take for him is, if you just focus on your studies and just try to be the best coach you can be from that academic perspective, and even if he is training, like it looks like he's training quite well, he's still missing that third piece of actually coaching. Like, if you want to be a coach, you should start coaching. Like, start coaching.
If you want to be a writer, start writing. Don't go to college to write. You start writing. If you want to be a coach, start coaching. I mean,
yeah.
Charles Poliquin himself was the biggest genius I met. And, he said it to me, you could learn this all in a library for free, Yeah. And he just started coaching. He actually took an incredible strategy. He didn't even charge people for training. He actually just went to nationals level athletes. So he never, trained weak athletes. He went right to guys on the national team, said, "I'll train you for free." So he was living from home for years, training people for free. And that's sort of the route I took. I trained them for very little, so my gym wasn't necessarily profitable. My gym did well in terms of the amount of training we were doing and pretty good income, but relative to me and how many trainers, like I never charged much for the training itself. But the point is, it gave me so much experience in so little time. I don't have a college degree. Just to get legally certified, I had to go online and try to think, well, let's see how many lies are going to be on this test. And, am I going to correctly predict this lie? So I was having to answer questions to legally be a trainer that are proven false. And I guessed right that they're lying pieces of shit on the test. And I was right and I got certified. But I didn't study for that. I didn't go to college for this. And that's just the time we're living in. It doesn't mean you can't go that route, but I just think that Real Movement alone is a better way, because instead of 4 years of college, so now you're graduating in debt, you don't have the coaching experience, you've been fed one line of thinking, you don't necessarily have a worldview. Guys, in Real Movement, we get to all talk amongst each other. We get a worldview of training. We understand calisthenics. We understand weightlifting. We understand stretching. We understand every aspect you could have of training. We not only don't go in debt, but we don't graduate. I see some great coaches finishing college with literally 200-300 followers on social media. And now guess what? They're having to go work at some shit gym and do stuff they don't even believe in, because that's the only job they can get now. And they don't have the freedom, and they don't have the following to do anything online. So it's a really rough system, not to mention then they're so far in debt that they can't take any chances. Age 20 to 30 is when you should be taking the most chances. But if you're in debt, you already can't take those chances, because now you have to pay off your bills. So, starting out as a trainer, Real Movement's providing an alternate route to that. And it's just like knee ability, that now knee ability is recognized, and we have guys on either side of the Super Bowl using it. But last year it was knee ability was, this unorthodox thing. All of a sudden it's orthodox. Real Movement is going in the same direction, that people are going to start looking, oh my God, you're certified in this and this with Real Movement. And that's going to have more respect than a college degree. And again, it gives you the opportunity to coach. It gives you the opportunity to grow. I mean, even if I disagreed with everyone in Real Movement, I would sign up just for the social equity alone, meaning the value of having people on social media that are on your team is so huge. And of course, there's really not that much to disagree with Real Movement, because all of us are built on the concept that we're for truth no matter where it comes from. We would open up a college textbook and we'd be able to recognize what's true and what's not true. And there would be plenty of good data in there. But that's what we all have in common that I see, is that we're for truth no matter where it comes from. And we recognize that we have a lot of work to do, and working together gives us a chance to do that. But I see these guys graduating from college. There's no together. Their professor who never trained anyone can't just now give them some, you get what I'm saying? It's not as good as it sounds in that department that you're going to have these like quote unquote, connections from doing that.
No, it works, man. Like it literally works I know, and I have a network marketing business. So I have this experience. Like I can literally put money in someone else's pocket by saying, this guy is really good at something. And I'm very careful about what I do with that, because it's important that I do that in the right way. And, like we've had that relationship, and you do it with me without that network marketing background, but the power of having, social proof and endorsement, and, we want it from both sides. So we want to be really, really confident in our knowledge. And that's the thing that college seems to suck out of people, is confidence. They leave with a massive lack of confidence. Like 9 out of 10 people that I speak to that are graduates have no confidence in their ability to actually get work done, but then they kind of have some weird kind of cockiness and arrogance around like that they've had an education, but they sort of know they're never going to get, like that they're not ready to get results as well. So it's a funny kind of dichotomy that it's putting people into. At the other end of the spectrum, we've got the guys who do have a following, and for whatever reason, social media has done well by them, but they lack confidence in what they're delivering. Do those people need to get a university degree? What do you recommend for those people? Like, I don't know, you kind of just spoke about it, but
that's the thing, is Real Movement gives you so much confidence. Like when you learn my knee system, you get a shit ton of confidence. When you learn with Lucas, like these things, it's so applicable, you can get right to work. So a book may give you ideas, and I don't know about you, but I stay constantly studying different studies and stuff like that. It's not like just because I'm not in college, I'm not studying just as much as those guys. I'm just not partying and jerking off in addition to that, and having someone else tell me what I should think. So in Real Movement, you're not told what to think. And, we stay hungry for knowledge, but we get to learn from each other. So I had to dedicate my entire life to knees, not to mention I wouldn't understand what I do if I hadn't been through surgeries. I don't want you to have to go through surgeries to learn what I did about knees. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that. We all know, how many people get so successful from having the right mentors and stuff is so much more valuable than one book. And so that's what Real Movement is. It's mentors on any area of coaching you could want to know. And if you have an area that we don't even have covered, then you should be in. And so that's the thing. Like I'm a part of it because of what I get to learn from others. And then I get to bring what I know about knees to the table and save. Lucas, he has like, what does he have? Like no ACL or something?
Yeah. I didn't even know about that until recently. Yeah.
Right. And he was telling me about different issues with it. And now with knee ability, it's like boom, and he's hitting new PRs and stuff like that. And so he gets to learn from me. I get to learn from him. It's a very simple example, but it literally saves you hundreds, of times of the amount of time it takes to learn these things by experience. And then the knowledge is so applicable, and and as a group, we're hungry to keep creating into it more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the obvious thing, someone comes to me and says, I want to work in NRL teams. I say, look, I've worked with, Pat Lane, Sam Kennedy, Fred Masaru. Like they're the 3 people who I chose to be my interns. They all work full-time now in pro sport, in pro rugby. Like if you want to get, like, do what they did, I can give you the exact blueprint. You need to be training, you need to be learning about these things. You need to be having conversations with those guys, like DM them, show them what you're up to, send them a message every month saying, this is my progress for the month. And there's so few people out there that are like that will actually do the work, that are hungry, that will follow up on things. Like you were like that with Charles, I'm sure, which is part of the reason why you got deeper into Charles's knowledge probably than anyone did. I was probably a bit too intimidated by him and didn't get enough, time with him to get maybe quite as deep as you. But the path is pretty clear. Like you need to be associating with the people who are doing what you want to do. And the chances are they're not in university unless you want to be a professor. And if you want to do that, then for sure, go that path, like 100%.
Then you have to. But look at my group in ATG, me, Derek, Jeff, Connor. All right, well, what do I teach in Real Movement? I teach knee ability, and I teach online business. I teach how to grow your social media and stuff organically and things like that. Well, Jeff started out a couple thousand followers. I made Derek's Instagram account, and he has over 30,000 followers now. Connor started out at 2,000 followers, has over 80,000 now. So when you put that around me, they're going to get that. Not to mention, Derek's back dunking. His knee pain's gone. Jeff is dunking now. Connor got rid of knee pain that a doctor said he needed surgery to fix, and now is just going viral like every which way. He just had he was just on SportsCenter, and now he's blowing up again with one that has like 2 million views, and he has over 80,000 followers. So my point is just, those are the things I do well. You put people around me, they're going to do those two things well. But then there's other guys in the group. That's the whole point of Real Movement, is that instead of spending this many thousands and then this many thousands and then this many thousands to go try to slowly learn from all these different people, it's all right there in a way that you're not having to spend the thousands to get it. So, it's really that simple. Put yourself, around the results that you want. And that's where for confidence, my go-to for confidence is number one, results. And then number two, the number of times getting those results, right? So we've all been there that some cool results happened, but it was just the first one. So we're like, ooh, maybe there's something there, right? But then we also know, if I told you I wanted to, get good at chin-ups, you could yawn and you could get me good at chin-ups because you've done it so many times. And in Real Movement, we have so many guys who have gotten results so many times on things. And I think that's where the confidence comes in, right? Is because you're not learning something theoretical. You're learning it from someone who's made that result so many times, and it's so easy to absorb the knowledge and then try it yourself. And then you can start to make that result. And before you know it, a month goes by, and now you've made that result so many times that then you're confident in it. So that's where the confidence comes from. The confidence doesn't come from your amount of followers. That's playing the game to get more eyes on your product. The confidence comes from getting a result over and over and over.
We had Wayne Goldsmith on that last summit that we had, where we had a bunch of NBA, NFL coaches, top coaches from lots of sports, and Wayne Goldsmith speaks with Olympic athletes across lots of sports, and he said confidence is belief times experience. So that results is that you've had the experience of doing that over and over again. There is that belief factor that some people, I think you get that knocked out of you a lot when you go to university. I know on my first week in university, They told me you're not going to work in elite sports. And I was like, wow, that's interesting information to give me at the start of what's going to cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost income and fees. And, that's a belief coming from a person of authority that's been handed down to me that was irrational, really, because he didn't know my potential. But that's I think what we do instill in people, of like the belief that you're going to do this. Like, it's just a matter of time. And if you stay in the game, if you can keep getting better with your own training, you keep turning up, keep building your profile. Like, for me, like the chin-ups example, Ben, like I see that anyone can do well online. Like, anyone who's not making money online at the moment, I'm like, what are you doing? Like what Gary Vee and some of these people say, like, it's the best time ever to build an online business, and it's so easy. If you're not winning now, then you should really get out of the game and go and pack groceries, or do something else that's more suited to your skill set. It's literally looks like that to me. Like, all you need to do is go hard. Like, there's free advertising. You can be messaging people all day. We tell you, we can show you the product. Like, get your body sorted and just go hard. Like, who knows what the world's going to be like when you finish your degree, 4 years from now in debt, and, the market, and who knows what the world's going to look like then,
What's funny too is that now the guys getting the top athletes are often the ones who are just doing the best on social media, and that's how the top athletes find them. And so it used to be a little bit different. It used to be more like these you could be this sort of unknown guy and train top athletes, and you still can, but percentage wise, how well you're doing online actually has a ton to do with even achieving your in-person goals that you want. You know what I mean? Now what's funny, when I was just in person, I was trying to get, an NBA player, trying to get, NFL athletes and stuff. Now that I'm online, I kid you not, for my 49.50 month service, on a weekly basis, a NFL player or someone like this that we would have killed to try to train signs up, starts sending in their videos, loves the service, $49.50, literally guys getting paid tens of millions of dollars are doing my online, like, so, it's not even like we barely even have time to send it in a group chat that like an NFL quarterback signed up. You know what I mean? So you have to bank on the fact that technology is only going to keep going. So start now with a Google Doc and film your own YouTube video and put it on whatever. Everything I just named is free. You know what I mean? You got to just start, and then the work you put in gets you better and better and better in so many ways. How good you are on camera. I used to think I sucked at camera. I could never be good at camera. My wife is an actress. I would watch her doing monologues in front of people, and I'd be sweating bullets with my heart pounding just watching. I used to be the guy who was so nervous to speak at all in public, in any level. You know what I mean? Talking on a camera was super awkward, but that's a skill in itself. So you got to be building that online skill at the same time. Like, you just have to start and just keep going. And then at the same time, make sure you keep going on your knowledge as a trainer and actually are training people, whether it's watching them online or in person. But I mean, you got to get reps training people. And I don't know if there is a way to replace that in-person experience. You know what I mean? That was my thing. I was the guy who worked from 4 a.m. to midnight training people. My goal was always, I'm going to train more people this week. And I genuinely believe that I was training more people in person than anyone on earth. And I say that because I did personal training, not group classes, right? So I did personal training, but I only charged $150 a month for personal training in my gym. So I was training so many people and then training trainers to train. Like, I had it narrowed down that I could train people for like $7 a workout and keep the lights on. And so, but that was my thing. So I don't know if there is a replacement for working your balls off, but if you have, I would have been so rich by now if I even would have had the simplest online business at the same time. You see what I mean? So that's what I've learned looking back is, it's the two factors we're talking about. So I think ultimately you have to find that balance between delivery and, between physical skills and delivery and online skills and delivery. And of course, a ton goes into both that. You know what I mean? Tons of details, like we're talking about. Social media is just one detail of online delivery, but online and in person, be a pro at both, I think, is your best protection. And you'll just be ridiculously successful.
Yep. I think that's the path is becoming clearer. And I know people have been so brainwashed into thinking that they have to go down this traditional path. Like, it's definitely worth considering for those who are listening or taking it more seriously, like all the negative media around social media, like we need to get off social media and whatnot. If you use it right, it's a powerful tool and an amazing opportunity. And you can see that clearly, with Ben and with myself. Like, I've been working full-time online since 2014. Before that, I was with teams. All my background was with teams, and I started off working for free as well. I had to work for free for a bunch of time. I was doing massage to get paid to be able to live while I was working for free with junior athletes in the NRL system. Like, that's how I got started. And, pretty much everyone has this kind of story, but that doesn't mean you can't start building build your social equity, build your social media, put a product out there. And that's how you're going to learn. You're not going to learn about business by going to university or by not doing that stuff. Like, even just training yourself, it's not enough. There are a lot of strong guys out there that make no money and help no one because they just focus on their training, but they haven't learned, this other side. There is the other extreme though, Ben. There's people who want to learn ClickFunnels. They want to learn Facebook ads. They want to learn like every single social media platform in detail. There's coaches I know who've gone, and they try and get into business coaching of trainers, and they really kind of lose track of where they started. Maybe, you can touch on like your balance now between being a businessman. You've got a big company, you've got a number of people that you're working with. You're still training, you're still researching. Like, how do you find that? Well, not just become a businessman.
Yeah, you got to stay obsessed with your craft, right? Yeah. So I wake up every morning. My whole lifestyle set up. Every day I'm trying to literally learn more and make a breakthrough on how good my training is, which has nothing to do with the business. And then every day I'm trying to inch forward on getting a little bit better at business. So, yeah, you got to put money in both sides of the jar every day. That's your only long-term guarantee. Either one of those can work short-term, but long-term, I mean, you're really creating a legacy there if you can be working on both sides of that. So, yeah, I think it's you know, your results long-term are going to sell. So if every day you wake up and think, how can I get a little bit better at getting people results? That's a good freaking start. And then if you also think, how can I make my results a little bit better, a little bit more deliverable online, whether that be, you know, more followers or improving your videos or, you know, improving your site, but have them running. Don't wait to become a trainer. Don't wait to train people, and don't wait to have an online business of some sort. Just start it, but then get better at both every day. That's my conclusion. But I think it's important that people recognize that years can go by forgetting about certain of these things. And some people can think that they're just playing the game by, as you were saying, being all in on the business side and totally lose sight of actually their craft and their purpose of helping people. And then you have guys on the other side, like I was, of losing sight that it is a business and thinking it's noble to be unknown, and you know what I mean? And just insanely competent at helping people, but no one knowing about it. So it's right in the middle. Be actively working on both every day.
Love it. Maybe we can chat a little bit more about what your life was like in some of those early phases of how you were training people in the gym in those early days, and what's kind of changed, if anything, in your systems. We can pull out a few of those things in the next one. Yeah.
Let's keep doing these once a week.
Love it.
Let's keep diving in. We can talk about the exact difference between, you know, training in person and training online.
Love it.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right, bro.
Love you. Thanks for your time there. And let's if you listened in and you listened this far and you got some insights, then drop us a message. It's always good to hear those messages when the penny drops for someone too.
Definitely.